Ahara nidra bhayamaithunam cha.
Ahara nidra bhayamaitunam cha.
Samanyametat pashubhir narana.
Samanyametat pashubhe narana.
Dharmo hitesham adhiko vishesho.
Dharmo hitesham adhiko vishesho.
Dharme nahina pashubhir samanaha.
Dharme nahina pashubhe samanaha.
What Mahabharata is trying to teach us is that there are 4 activities which are common between what's called as a Nara and what's called as a Pashu. If we translate this to English, they lose the context. So let's keep Sanskrit. There is a category of entity called as Nara and a category called as Pashu. Now, there are 4 activities which are common. Samanyam etat pashubhir narana. Right? Samanya means same. Between Pashu and Nara. Again, don't translate it as anything. Let's stick to this for now. We'll see how to proceed later. What are the 4 activities? Ahara, Nidra, Bhaya, Maithuna. Ahara is Nidra, Bhaya, fear, the tendency to protect myself. That's Bhaya. Huh? It's an emotion, yes. Any feeling in which you sort of put your protection in front is Bhaya. And then there is Maithuna, an activity with which you create offsprings. Right? So these 4 Mahabharata is teaching are common between 2 entities called as Pashu and Nara. Clear? Simple. Dharmo hitesham adhiko vishesho. But for the category called as Nara, right, so here Tesham is referring to Nara. Dharma is something which is Adhika and Vishesha. Adhika means on top. Right? Vishesha is very special. Making sense? So Dharma is something which is Adhika and Vishesha for the category called as Nara. Dharmena hinaha pashubhir samanaha. If someone is not having Dharma, then that category of entity are called as Pashu. Clear? Now, in English, perhaps you would translate Pashu as animal and Nara as human. But that's not how it is. In Vedic understanding, we don't talk about forms. Nobody is really concerned about how one looks like. I was trying to remember a verse last week and eventually I did remember from Chanakya. Right? He tells, Matravat paradhareshu, paradraveshu laushtravat, atmavat sarvabhuteshu, yaha pashyati sa panditaha. A person who sees everyone as equal. Atmavat sarvabhuteshu. So nobody really is concerned about how one looks like. That's not the categorization is made based on forms, color, skin, no, or gender, doesn't matter. So Mahabharata is teaching Dharma is something which defines Nara. Yeah. If someone is not practicing Dharma, is only concerned about the 4 preliminary basic instincts of life, that category is termed as Pashu. Now, I don't want to judge, but just being analytical, you can understand majority of the population of the world, doesn't matter where they are from, you can even tell 99.999% of the population of the world are concerned only with Ahara, Nidra, Bhaya, Maithuna. Right? You might tell, no, I'm a software engineer, I'm a medical practitioner, I am a lawyer, I am this, that doesn't matter. Right? Because when we work, we are paid. And the money is going towards Ahara, Nidra, Bhaya, Maithuna. Right? How sophisticated I live which cars do I possess, such a house, maybe a lakefront and whatever, right? It's all towards ahara, nidra, bhaya, maithuna. An elephant in the forest eats a lot of food, right? Hundreds of kilos every day. So Naina might be eating, 500 grams breakfast, right? 300 grams lunch, a few hundred for dinner, maybe let's say on total a kg a day. An elephant eats a few hundred kilos a day. If the body weight is, let's say, 3,000 kilograms, usually it eats 10% of the body weight every day. So a few hundred kilos it eats every day. So the activity of eating is the same, whether it's elephant eating or we eating, is the same. Right? Because it's eating. Elephant is also very happy eating. Right? A horse is also very happy. Fish is happy. All the species, doesn't matter. If they're eating, the activity and the kind of feelings you derive of eating is the same. You can't tell that it's different. It's the same. Sophistication may change. I'm not questioning that. You may be eating in a very high-end restaurant. That's okay. Eating is the same. Nidra. The same elephant will just sleep. Once it's sleeping, it's sleeping. You may be sleeping in an amazing bed and very comfortable, but once you sleep, you sleep. Right? I don't know if you have experienced, sometimes if you're really tired, it really doesn't matter where you are. 6 feet place, chalo, hogi. है ना कृष्ण जी? It really doesn't matter. Because body really is demanding sleep, you just need a space. इसके ऊपर चलो, no problem. You just lie down and sleep. You hungry? You're sleeping. So it really doesn't matter whether you are sleeping or horse is sleeping. Horse usually sleeps standing up only, but it's sleeping. Right? Bhaya, a tiger is having this propensity that I'll protect myself with my claws, with my jaw. I may go with no, I have AK-47, I have machine guns, I have big missiles. I'll protect myself with a bank balance. I'll put myself in a way that my whole life is insured. I'll take life insurance. So this is all bhaya. Right? Fourth one, maithuna. The animals just do it. And we have our way of it. But the act is the same. So Mahabharata is telling, what's the big deal? If someone just do it in a sophisticated manner, what's the big deal? Dharmo hi tesham adhiko vishesha. Dharma is something which is adhika and vishesha. It is superior to the 4 activities, the basic instincts of life. It's special. And those who are nara are practicing dharma. And that's the most important thing to understand. And in the olden days, in the tract of great land of Bharata, everybody was focused on that. Right? Dharma doesn't mean just religion. That's a very modern way of putting it. Dharma is not religion. Dharma is the inherent quality of who you are. That's what is dharma. One of the way the word Bharata is explained in Sanskrit is the land of people who are seekers of light. This is a special place in the face of earth where there were people whose focus was not ahara, nidra, bhaya, maithuna. Their focus was to figure out who am I. Right? So the foundational educational module or the knowledge system was built on this idea that your goal of life is not ahara, nidra, bhaya, maithuna. Of course you have to do it. Yeah, of course, we're not telling that you're just, from today stop eating. No, because animals also do it. No, that's not what we're telling. You have to do it anyways. Right? But that should not be the defining factor of your life. So the defining factor of our life should be, who am I? So dharma starts with that. Dharma starts with question. It does not start with faith or belief. Dharma starts with a question. Who are you? So the Vedanta Sutras tell Athato Brahma Jijnasat. Jijnasu means a person who is extremely inquisitive. We are also inquisitive, but we are inquisitive about Ahara, Nidra, Bhaya, Maithuna. That's where our inquisitiveness is there. We keep thinking, right, where to invest. Market is crashing, we don't know who does where. How do I secure my investments? Where do I invest? Which job should I get? How do I get promotion? Right? These are our inquisitive questions usually, isn't it? But there has to be a bigger question of life. Who am I? Which hardly we have time to think about. So in this tract of land called as Bharata before, Bharata, people were looking to find an answer for it, and that's where dharma would begin. It is not about which god you worship, no, it doesn't matter. Gita teachings, I told last week already, right? If it was just a faith-based thing, right, Krishna could have just told Arjuna, you anyway accepted you are a fool, you accepted me as your guru, that I am on a superior platform, just do what I tell. Put faith and go ahead. Entire Gita is discussed in the middle of a battlefield. Can you imagine? Not in a classroom, not in a library, not in a university. This is in a battlefield. So every single moment is important. Still, the entire logical, rational reasoning is put behind to the questions. So that's the knowledge system, how in Bharata, how it was cultivated from the beginning. Kaumarat Acharit Prajna. From the very young age, one is made aware of larger question of life. Right? Really big question of life. The biggest question of life is not whether you should become a doctor or engineer. No, that's not the question of life. Right? The biggest question of life is who you are. And that's where dharma begins. An example is like fire, for example. Fire has a dharma. The dharma of fire is it burns. Burns. Very good. What's your name?
Arnav.
Amazing. It burns. And then?
Destroys.
No.
Give light.
It gives light.
Okay.
Right? Whether it destroys or you use it as a diya is up to you.
Yeah.
So it has a burning ability, gives light. So let's say it has heat and light. You agree? That's dharma of fire. How you use it is on you. Sugar has a dharma.
Sweet.
It's sweet, right? If you take out sweetness, there is no meaning to sugar, right? That's the meaning of dharma. This is something so inherent to you that without that there is no existence. You're getting what is dharma? It is not what you believe. It is not that I believe fire has some... no, it doesn't matter whether you believe, don't believe, doesn't matter. Fire means fire, right? Sugar means sugar. It doesn't matter, Arno doesn't believe that sugar is sweet. How does it matter? It doesn't matter, right? So you also have a dharma then. You getting the theme of it? You have a dharma. I'll come, okay? The question then is, what is it? But then, a preliminary question to that is, who am I? Right? So sugar you know, fire you know. Dharma and karma, these things are about action. It's about inherent characteristics. But then a preliminary question would be who you are. Right? Like, let's say I have give me the phone. This phone, right? Let's say I just happen to break this. I won't break. Let's say it fell down. Yeah. And I take it to a repairer and go to the person and tell, replace this. Right? Just give me a new glass. What will be the first question he will ask?
Why?
No, he's already broken.
Okay.
How much?
No.
What's the cost?
No, he other person, the shop owner.
How did it break?
No. I'm just saying, yeah, give me a new glass. I want to put a new glass on it.
Which kind of glass?
Which? No, not which kind of
Which?
glass.
Why
Which
should you
model?
take a new glass?
Which
Why can't-
which phone?
Which model?
Right?
Which one?
Yes or no? Right? If I tell no, don't ask this question. Just give me a glass. I want to put it on this. He'll be like, right? So for changing something, you first know what this says, right? So this is like our life now. We want to address all the problems of life. We don't even know which model are we, who are we. Yes? Right? And then we just don't even ask that question, and we tell, no, I don't want to ask this question. This question doesn't have any place in my heart. I am trying to figure out other problems of life. Right? So, Mahabharata is telling then, no, don't go too far ahead before even understanding who you are. Let's first understand who we are, and then you'll understand how to use. Like, for example, I'll take Sona's phone again. Let's say nobody has seen this. Yeah, let's say you just went 100 years back in history. Nobody would have seen this, right? You agree? And let's say I just somehow happened to just very hypothetically go back in time and then show this to people. I just went and gave it someone. Would they know what to do with this?
No.
Right? Because it's something which has never been seen. So if you just happen to just get something, some instrument, some machine which you have not used before, right? The first thing is to understand what this is. So the same thing is with our life. We don't know who we are. The Gita's teaching then starts with who we are. Just so that we are sticking to time, we'll take the questions in the end. Okay. So we move to the second shloka which is there in the module. This is from Kathopanishad. It's just a nice filler between this verse of Gita and Mahabharata. So please repeat. Atmanam rathinam vidhi
Atmanam ratinam vidhi
Shariram ratha evacha
Shariram rataevacha
Buddhim tu sarathim vidhi
Buddhim tu saratam vidhi
Manaha pragraham evacha
Manaha pragrahaevacha
Indriyani hayan ahur
Indriyani hayan ahur
Vishayam steshu gocharan
Vishayam Steju gocharan
Sodhvanha paramapnoti
Sodvanha paramapnoti
Advishnoh paramam padam.
Advishnoho paramam padam.
Okay, so this shloka in Kathopanishad is an Upanishad where a small boy called as Nachiketa, he was asking some questions to a great personality called as Yama, the controller of Dharma in the entirety of creation. His name is also Dharma, Yama Dharma. So in that conversation, this question came, who am I? The small boy, 5-year-old, asked. And as an explanation, this shloka is given, wherein imagine a chariot. You have seen chariot? Yeah. With horses. So imagine a chariot. There are a few things in that chariot, right? Can you now put the phone down? Let's discuss. What are the elements of chariot? What all are there? Horses are there?
Wheels.
Wheels are there?
Food.
Gopura, yes.
The carriage and the
Carriage driver
carriage.
The person who is
Charioteer,
yeah, chariot
reins,
driver.
The reins.
The reins, good.
Yeah.
What else? Most important thing is missed again.
One who
Chariot.
Yeah, chariot is already told.
The guide which keeps the horses.
Yeah, that's a chariot here.
Yeah, okay.
Cart.
Yeah, it's already covered. Body of the chariot. Most important thing is missed again.
The horses.
No, horses already told.
People.
People, one who are inside, right?
No.
You should come to every single class of mine. Arno,
Arnav.
where do you live?
In Mariova.
Where is that?
Danav.
Dana. Okay. Yeah, the person who is inside, isn't it? That's the most important thing. If you are going in your car, what is the most important thing? Car or yourself?
Yourself.
Yeah. Anyway, so in this shloka of Ishopanishad is telling, and Kathopanishad is telling, that the horses are like the senses. So we have 5 senses, right?
Eyes.
Ears, nose,
Mouth.
tongue,
Skin.
5.
Okay.
Yeah. Panchendriya, clear. These 5 are like the horses. And then there is something which is binding the horses to the person who is riding chariot here. Reins. Yeah. The person who is riding with the chariot body, wheels and everything. And there is a person traveling. So this Kathopanishad is describing a situation wherein how this analogy is compared to an existence of a human. Senses are horses, reins are the mind. The person who is holding the reins is buddhi. In modern terms, people really don't understand the distinction between buddhi and mind. They are two different things. Buddhi is the one who is holding all the reins. And Atmanam Rathi, Atma, who truly you are, is the Rathi who is traveling in this body. Atma, who you truly are, is the Rathi. Rathi is the one who is traveling in the chariot. Sarathi is Sarathi. He is accompanying the Rathi. Yeah. Rathi is the most important person, one who is there traveling. Sarathi is the one who is with the Rathi. He is the one who is guiding. Buddhim tu Sarathim vidhi. It is the Buddhi. Now let's take one level deeper. In this whole equation, for the chariot to be functioning properly, who should be the most powerful person?
Sarathi.
Sarathi. Right? Because if he is weak, what will happen?
You'll not reach the destination you want to go.
Will you go anywhere?
Yeah, distracted.
You're just distracted?
You won't move, or yeah, you're right. In terms of
Yeah, multiple equations are possible. Physics, right? 5 powerful entities pulling. It depends then where is the resultant force going, right? If they're all pulling in 5 different directions, all equal distance, then chariot will break, right? This phone tied to five horses, let them run, right? So buddhi has to be really strong so that it can hold and guide whom?
Horse.
No. Hold?
The senses.
No.
Sorry, come up again.
The buddhi, he is holding what?
The
Reins. He is not holding the face or head of the horses, right? He is holding the reins, and reins is mind. Yeah. So buddhi has to be sharpened in our level then. Until now we are not feeding buddhi. We're just not feeding it. Dharma, in another version of the previous shloka, Dharmo hi tesha madhiko vishesho. It's another version of it is Buddhi hi tesha madhiko vishesho. Because buddhi, if buddhi is functioning, it means you will be doing dharma, because buddhi is that which is fundamentally, it is making you inquisitive about larger things of life. Like, for example, a tiger jumps on a deer, rips it apart, drinks the blood, eats the flesh, goes away. It is really not thinking, oh, this deer must be having a child also. Maybe it has its parents also. Oh, I'm troubling this. Oh, this is like suffering. Or maybe I should become a vegan from tomorrow. It's not thinking. Because buddhi is just sleeping in tiger. Is not there. Tiger may die hungry. It will never eat even a halwa if you give. Right? Best halwa with ghee. You go and give it to tiger. It will not eat. You tell, no, let's start eating halwa from today. Roti, sabzi, paneer, I'll give you. Tiger will die hungry. So it's hardwired to function in a way. It cannot really think, what should I do? I should not create this kind of suffering to other entities. It will never think, because buddhi is sleeping. That's the meaning of pashu. They are hardwired to function in a way which is just their psychophysical nature. They just really never intellectually analyze their own actions. It's just not there with them. They just can't do it. Yeah. You don't see a vegan tiger, right? Do you see? Like, oh, damn, this is a nice tiger, vegan. Why? Because it is functioning in a certain way, which is how it is. Now, buddhi in Nara is functioning in a way that you can analyze your own action and actually come to a conclusion that no, this is right or this is wrong. That's the speciality of a person who is Nara. You can analyze your own actions. Pashu can only utilize intelligence, and intelligence is not buddhi. Let's also understand that. It's not buddhi. Intelligence and buddhi are not the same. Pashu can use intelligence in figuring out ahara, nidra, bhaya, maithuna. It can. Just exactly how I told before. Right? Where to sleep, how to eat, what to eat, they will figure out. Right? An ant is crawling. If you go and put a finger, what will ant do?
Turn around. Go down.
Why?
Because you blocked this?
Yeah, but what will it sense? There's some danger here. Right? Turn around and go. So when there is a bhaya, it can process. So that's not buddhi. This is intelligence, and intelligence for ahara, nidra, bhaya, maithuna is there with everyone. And if you have seen a cheetah making a plan to attack, right? It can actually make a plan. So make sure that the target is locked in, right? And eventually just go and jump. It will always catch, never fail. Just sit down, make sure the target is locked in. So it can plan. You can't tell that there is no intelligence there. There is intelligence for sure. Why not? But that's not buddhi. Because buddhi is not something which is used for ahara, nidra, bhaya, maithuna. It's a level higher. Buddhi gets triggered. You can understand you have buddhi when you start asking questions which are deeper. So Sanatana Dharma, which in modern times became Hinduism, is not about just ahara, nidra, bhaya, maithuna. It's about how I figure out who am I. The question does not start with who is God. No, that's not the question. The question is who you are. Because the only reality which you know for sure is that you exist. Do you agree with me? That's the only reality you know. Everything else is interpreted. Only reality which you can really tell, yeah, no, I am existing. So let's start asking them, who am I? Eventually, when you expand your consciousness, you become realized in that question. That's when you'll realize, okay, I know everything. If someone understands who they are, they know everything else then. Yeah. That brings us to a very nice shloka in Gita. You can take your phone again. We just covered the five senses, the five elements, right? Earth, water, fire, air, ether. But we can just go through it. This is 7th chapter, 4th verse. Please repeat. Bhumirapo nalo vayuhu
Bhumirapo nalo vayuhu
kham mano buddhireva cha
Khammano bhuttireva cha
ahankara iti yamme
Ahankara iti yamme
bhinna prakritirashtadha.
Bhinna prakritirashtadha.
So this shloka, 7th chapter, Krishna is telling to Arjuna that there are 8 elements with which the functionality of body is made. There is Pancha Mahabhuta, earth, water, fire, air, ether. Our body is made with that, Pancha Mahabhutas. And these Pancha Mahabhutas are connected with the 5 senses. This is an amazing science. If you want to take home some knowledge today, let this be the first one. We already discussed a lot of important things, but this is really mind-blowing. 5 Pancha Mahabhuta, right? And 5 senses. Maybe next week we can arrange a thing. Okay, so I can draw. So let's start with it. Earth, water, fire, air, ether, right? 5. And then we have 5 senses: eyes, ears, tongue, nose, and touch. Now, earth is the cause of fragrance. How many of us have observed the first rain? It comes. Amazing fragrance. Earth as such has all the fragrance, whether it's rose, jasmine, whatever comes is coming from earth. All the fragrances come from earth. So earth is connected with nose. Yeah. Next, there is water. Water is the original taste. It's connected with your tongue. Yeah. It's fire. Fire is the cause of vision. It's connected with your eyes. Making sense? See, if there is no light, you can't see anything. You may be having your eyes, no problem. But if there is no light, you can't see it. Yeah? So for eyes to function, you need light. There is air. Air is the via medium for touch. Yeah. I don't know if you know about it in Ayurveda. Those who have problems with eventually, sometimes old people lose consciousness of touch. They tell this is Vata problem. Air imbalance within the body. Air is the source of touch. You can feel a breeze, right?
Yes.
You can actually feel it's a touch, and that's that. Because of air, you feel the touch. This sound, which is ether, which is connected with your ears. Yeah. Pancha Mahabhutas, Pancha Indriya. You live a life in which
Last one.
ether,
Ether.
space, Akasha. That's the source for sound. We as an individual, we don't live a disconnected, disoriented life. No, you are not an individual element living independent life. No, you are a dependent element. We depend on the Pancha Mahabhutas to exist. We may think like, especially in the modern times, no, I'm just independent. I can live my life. No. If there is no air, we die straight. If there is no light, I can't see. If there is no water, I can't taste. For me to function, I need Panchamahabhutas. I need this support of Prakriti. Yeah? But this is matter. Panchamahabhuta are matter. Yeah. And then Krishna tells there are three more. These are gross matter. There is subtle matter. Manaha, buddhi, ahankara. This is also matter. But these are subtle matter. And then on top of it is who you are, Atma. Lots of information. But let's also try to absorb it a little bit. It's not just information. We need to start then looking at things in a different way in our lives then. Once we understand this higher knowledge. You can right away start feeling, if you just close your eyes, then you should be able to feel, wow, I am part of something. I'm part of the entirety of creation. You're not individually existing independently. I'm depending on this whole. I'm part of the whole. The goal of life then is to figure out how am I connected with this. And that is the meaning of yoga. Comes from the dhatu yuj. Yuj means union. How are you in union with everything? Yoga is not just chalo isko kar lete hain. That's asana. Yoga ends with samadhi, and samadhi is the state where you are in union with the totality of it. So there are, what we just quick recap, we studied in the first sloka from Mahabharata, we studied that life's principal aim has to be towards asking question, who am I? Because that's where dharma starts. Second, we studied from Kathopanishad, chariot example, and buddhi has to be the strongest person there. It's the second teaching. Third, we understood I am a connected living being having my existence connected with the nature, and my existence is made with 8 elements. Bhumi, Rapo, Nalo, Vayuhu, Kham, Manaha, Buddhi, Ahankara, 8, and then I am separate from all this. But I have this as instruments right now. That brings us to a very nice position now to go and understand what Krishna is telling about who you are. This is the last shloka for today. So this is second chapter 12. I just put the other shloka in between because it just fits in the context better. As I said, we'll be studying as modules. So this is the first time Krishna is speaking to Arjuna in Gita as an instructor. We studied last week that Arjuna surrendered. When Arjuna surrendered, Karpanya doshopahatas svabhavaha ichhami tvam dharma sammudha chetaha yashreha syan nishchitam bruhi tanme shishyasteham chadimam tvam prapannam. When Arjuna said that, I'm your shishya, Krishna then took the role of a teacher. Right? Because now you're having a student. You need to make sure that the personality is the teacher then. Krishna is not talking with the friend as a friend anymore. He is talking as a teacher. And this is the first shloka he tells to Arjuna after scolding him a bit mildly that what are you speaking? This is not befitting to a pandita. Just scolded in one shloka in 2:11 and 2:12 Krishna tells this. Please repeat. Natvevaham jatu nasam
Natvevaham jatu nasam
Natvam neme janadhipaha
Natvam neme janadhipa
Na chaiva na bhavishyamaha
Na chaiva na bhavishyamaha
Sarve vayamatah param.
Sarve vayamatah param.
So Krishna is telling, maybe so I can read the translation. Let's read the translation. Read.
Never was there a time when I did not exist, nor you, nor all the kings, these kings, nor in the future shall any of us cease to be.
Yeah. So Krishna is telling there was no time in which I did not exist, you did not exist, all these kings assembled here, they did not exist, nor will there be a time in which we all cease to exist. Right? It's the first teaching of Gita. So Krishna is saying there is no time in which I did not exist or you did not exist. All these people. Anything interesting in this? The way Krishna is putting it forward. He's very clearly telling Natvevaham Jatunasam Natve Neme Janadhipa. He's calling out himself, Arjuna, and all the kings. What is this referring to?
The eternal.
Okay, eternity is one. Good. What else? Huh?
The universe has always been there, like the world has always been there.
He's not talking about the world. This is not about the world. There are only personalities, people are being referred here. Yeah.
Consciousness changes forms,
That's not being discussed.
but it's only
In the future it will be, but right now in this sloka not.
Is it element of time?
Eternity is discussed for sure, right? Because there is basically Krishna is telling you always exist, right? You are eternal. What else?
It is indestructible.
Not discussed. Eternity is discussed. Yeah, you can infer from there, but it's not discussed, right?
What was the question?
The question is, what do you feel interesting in the shloka? Is there something which is interesting?
He's basically referring to past and future.
Good.
That what you see, the people that you see, they've existed in the past and they
Yes.
will exist in future. So
Yes.
he's referring to two different time frames at a given moment.
Yeah.
But he has also said everything was already there. So maybe that's like it was already there, and it will always be there.
Not
So-
everything, but the personalities
Yeah, the
again.
personalities.
Yeah, people. Yes.
Physical forms, but
Physical forms, of course, it is not there. It's understood that not that everybody is existing
Souls.
But the
forever.
atmas will always
Yeah,
be.
who you are truly
Who you are
existed
exists.
always before and will exist. But then what's interesting? The way it's formed. This is how we should study. Because every word in Gita is having meaning. Yeah. Anything interesting the way Krishna has formulated this? Read it again, Sunil.
Never was there a time when I did not exist, nor you, nor all these kings.
Stop.
I think
That we have always had a connection with each other
Mhm.
from the past, present, maybe.
No.
We always been there as a guide for you.
No.
there is a root somewhere.
Maybe
No.
the thing of the kings.
No.
That there's no.
I think it's just the two of them talking, so he's saying you, me, and everyone else.
It's very good. You're coming close.
This the order. So starting with I, you, and then.
See, Krishna could have told in a way that all of us existed forever. Right? But that's not what he's telling. How is he telling? No. He could have mentioned the first line as we all existed forever. Right? But he's calling out. There was never a time in which I did not exist. You did not exist. And all these kings. Yeah. This is the first and preliminary understanding of who you are, including Krishna, that you are an individual. Everyone is an individual and is going to be individual forever, because there are different theories floating around which people tell when you get moksha, that's it, done. Okay? There are also other concepts wherein you attain some sort of liberation and you cease to exist. You don't exist anymore. So Krishna is addressing multiple different spiritual realities at the same time by telling that I am different, you are different, everybody else. Of course, you could have called everyone else names, but then you would be like spending the next 5 days maybe telling everyone's names. But at least there is individuality told, right? I am different, you are different, everybody else. At least it's clear that people are individuals and are going to be  forever. Making sense? If you would have just told we all exist eternally, then you could interpret it in a way that, yeah, maybe at some point of time everybody becomes Krishna. Right? You could interpret it like that, right? But now there is no way. Krishna said very clearly, I, you, everyone else, we existed individually as myself, as you, forever in the past, and we are going to be like this in the future. Individuals.
Then you can also translate it that as there's no moksha or mukti. Because
We'll come to that in the future sessions, because how we understand moksha is heavily influenced by Abrahamic onslaught on the culture of the land of India. Yeah, because our idea of moksha is not that you die and you get somewhere. That's heavily influenced by how Abrahamic thought process works. That there is life, but there is afterlife is different from life. Our understanding is moksha is something which you experience here, yeah, while being here, not after death.
But what happens after that?
That's a good question. We
Because
will-
if it's not moksha, where we reach for
Yeah,
the
but
end goal,
yeah. So that's why, as I'm telling, that that understanding of life is influenced by an external vision, which had life separate from afterlife. Yeah. Wherein there is one God somewhere, you need to put trust in this one God, and after your life, you'll either go to heaven or hell and suffer, eternally, or enjoy eternally. That's not our vision. Yeah.
but our end goal from yoga is to reach samadhi, right?
Yeah, but samadhi is not something in which you die.
It's always there. It will always be there.
Yes.
In various
Yes,
nuances.
yes.
Okay.
You live, you don't die.
You stay alive.
You stay alive, individual, forever. First teaching of Gita.
your Atma.
You are Atma, and you exist forever as yourself. You will never cease to exist. And just one feeling like this is already so liberating. Wow.
So the purpose of this life is as an individual soul to get to the Vaikuntha, right?
How you interpret later is again, right? But that's not where questions start. Questions should start from who you are.
But if we reach
Also, what is
individual eternal life, and we have an end goal, we should do karma, right? But why are we doing it? We are existing all our lives to have these nuances in bliss states.
Yeah.
Is that the only thing?
No.
No.
Let's go with the flow of Krishna. Yeah, it's because otherwise majority of Indians think that, yeah, I'm also religious, I also do so many things, and but we really don't have the knowledge substantiating those feelings. Somehow we have heard somewhere Dadi telling something, Nanu telling something, and then we also carry those ideas. Never really understood what's the scientific basis for all these things. Vaikuntha means a place where there is no anxiety. You can create Vaikuntha here in Den Haag. Who is stopping you? No one. So, spiritual life is not an afterlife hope. Am I making sense? Spiritual life or spiritual perfection is not just a hope which I'll get after death. You need to be able to experience here where you are.
But why do we die then?
Your body right now, so you'll die. Body will die. You don't die. That's
No,
the first thing.
but why does the body die? But it
Because
doesn't
it's
have
matter.
to be.
It's matter.
Okay.
Yeah. So matter will degrade,
Degrade.
decay. So these are first preliminary teachings of Gita. Next 15 shloka or something, Krishna is just hammering on it, and from multiple different directions. We have put together a few verses as in this module. which can help guide the discussions in our sessions. I'm sure there will be a lot of questions, but let's not just start asking questions which are sort of all in the air. Try to understand first, like how it's being formulated, how it's being discussed, and then ask questions which are sort of helping you understand what is there, rather than trying to superimpose my own idea on it. You know the story, right? There was a tabla teacher, and a student came to him and asked, "I want to learn tabla. Can you teach?" And the teacher asked, "Do you know tabla?" I said, "Yes, but I want to learn from you." And the teacher charged him an amount, whichever currency, an amount. Another student came, "I want to learn tabla. Do you know tabla?" "No, I don't know, but I'm sincerely wanting to learn tabla, so I'm coming to you." And the teacher charged him whatever amount, divided by 2, half of it. And the first day got to know from the second guy that I already know tabla, but I'm being charged twice. He went back to the teacher and asked, "Maybe some mistake. You wanted to charge him that much and me half?" Because I already know. The teacher said, "No, this is purposeful, because the other guy is sincere. He's also wanted to just learn from me. You already think you know. First I need to make you unlearn, right? Whatever you have, you just think that you know all these things, and then I need to teach. So it takes twice the amount of effort for me." Right? So this is a story which is really meaningful in our life, because if we approach Gita with the thing that, yeah, I already know a lot of things, and then we superimpose our understanding on Gita. So rather than understanding Krishna's teachings, we are basically superimposing our thoughts, and then we're just interpreting them. That's not a very good way of learning.
It's more like these are stories, what you said, like people tell them,
Yeah.
and then this is their interpretation of the Gita, and there are many interpretations.
Yeah, that's why
Yeah.
it's the reason we have put Sanskrit,
Yeah.
English. Let's go, what exactly Krishna is trying to say,
Yeah.
rather than
Yes.
how I think about it or
Yeah.
you think about it. Doesn't matter. How we both think about it really doesn't matter.
Mhm.
Yeah. So Krishna requested me last time that let's put Sanskrit also, so people actually then see, okay, this is the verse, and we also wanted to put a QR code and a link there, but we'll make it next time, so you can just click and then go and read it if you want to read further.
Link is there.
Link is there already? Very good. So let's try to understand the thematic presentation, how Krishna is taking Arjuna, and we be sincere in our effort in doing that. And then if we are sincere, the knowledge is already out there, Gayatri. That's another dimension. It is not that you need to learn something. One of the characteristic of Atma is Sat Chit Ananda. Chit means conscious. It's already conscious, but right now it is covered. It's like you have diamond, you covered it with on top a lot of other things. Let's say you put a cup on it, right, on the diamond. It will not shine. Not because diamond is not shining, because there is covering on it. It's the same situation with us. Atma is already conscious. It's eternal. It's full of bliss already. You don't need to make Atma happy. But there is covering which is making you feel now that you only feel the coverings now. This is the covering which we have. So we need to be able to live beyond this. And you can live like that. And that's the whole purpose of Gita. Because even at the end, Gayatri, at the end of the whole, Arjuna had to fight. Not that Arjuna listened to the whole Gita and then went to Himalaya and then chalo, ho gaya. Right? No. He had to fight. And that's why Gita is relevant. Because at the end of it, what matters the most is not how you die, how you are living right now. That's why Gita is relevant. Because at the end of the Gita, Arjuna had to go and do this. He wanted to, Arjuna in himself wanted to just go and beg and become a beggar. I don't want to fight all these things. I'll just take an easy route out. I don't want to kill. Last week we discussed the reasons why Arjuna didn't want to fight. Krishna made him. No, there is a higher purpose for life. Do for that. So there is an action involved and there is a life involved. So life is more important. Of course, if you live life in the right way, you'll also die in the right way then. Yeah?
Yes.
Good. Yes.
If you could, elaborate a bit more why Krishna was insisting, as you said, in 15 more verses, the purpose of, making Arjuna conscious about the individuality.
Not just individuality, also the nature of Atma. Because the first question to ask in life again is who you are. If you know that, everything else becomes easy. If you don't even know that, and you want to just only address the superficial issues, it will never get addressed. And exactly like how I gave the example of Sunela's phone. You can't just go and start fighting with the shop owner that, no, just give me the right glass. Unless you tell which phone is this, they will not be able to do the right justice for it, right? You can't just pick fight with them that, no, what sort of shop is this? You can't even give me a glass. They'll keep asking, which phone is it? Right? So, that's the primary question of life. Who am I? Once we understand that, then knowledge can be built on it. Otherwise, there is no meaning. And that's the problem with the modern times. We just go Google, ChatGPT, and that's how we acquire knowledge. Even Vedic knowledge. But that's not the right way. Because all the knowledge as such is there. There's nothing new to be uncovered. But I need to become purified so that I access the knowledge. It's like, for example, radio waves here, right? There is like TV channels, mobile phones, all this, everything is already there out, right? If I have the right device, I can capture it and then I can play. Right? So knowledge is also like that. It's already there. It's all pervasive. I'm not able to access. To access, I need to first understand who am I. And then it's very easy. How we discussed last time, if people can understand this fundamental truth of life, majority of world's problems are solved. And that's the reason people used to come to India to learn this. Right? When people everywhere else in the world were fighting with stakes, we had universities, Nalanda and Takshashila. They were teaching knowledge. India was the hub of knowledge. Eventually it has become a situation wherein the hub of IT now, which is good, it's fine, but we should not let go of who we are. And we should be the source of inspiration for the whole world with this theme of there is something special which we have to offer. That's the knowledge system. Veda means knowledge. Comes from Dhatu Vid, is knowledge. The whole culture was built around knowledge. Everybody is a seeker. So,
just a question.
Mhm.
Then, to know who am I, one has to go through Gita. Or what about people who go and sit in the Himalayas and yogis,
Yeah.
and then
There are different paths. So Krishna does describe different yoga paths. So Gita is, let's say, it's an Upanishad which is a condensed form of all the Vedas. Right? Sarvopanishado gavo dogdha gopalanandanaha partho vatsaha sudhir bhukta dugdham gita amritam mahat. It's from Gita Mahatmya. From all the Upanishads, all the Vedas, if you compare that to a cow, the essence of cow is the milk. Right? And Gopala is the person, Krishna is the one who is milking that and feeding it directly to Arjuna. Partho Vatsaha, Vatsaha is a small calf. So Arjuna is drinking that. Dugdham Gita Amritam Mahata. So this Amrita, this nectar of the entire Vedic knowledge, Krishna has condensed and is feeding to Arjuna, and we are also getting access to it. So actions will follow afterwards. First we need to understand which path of sadhana I want to take, what exactly suits me, will come later. Okay? Good. You had a question before.
I was a bit earlier when you were teaching, but so Atma, and does it mean every Atma will have its own characteristics
Yes.
when you say individuality?
Yes.
So no two Atmas are same.
There could be similar attributes, but
Of course.
yeah, but it's not the same.
You have one separate identity.
Yes.
That has to be
Yes.
not same everything.
Yes.
Right?
Which ice cream do you like?
So that many.
Which one? Most favorite?
Mango.
Chocolates.
Mango. Chocolate for you?
No, for him, chocolates.
For you, which one?
for me, I mint.
Mint. Which one do you like?
A dark chocolate.
Coffee. Vanilla.
Vanilla. Christian.
All of them.
All of it. Favorite.
I don't have any favorite.
Okay.
You give
All
me,
of
I
it.
will. I can.
Any thing which is called as ice cream, Priji likes it. Yes. Chocolate.
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 Passion fruit.
We have a clear winner here. See, the point is, even in ice cream, I like butterscotch. I can eat like 2 liters of butterscotch. In India, you get Amul 2-liter pack. I can just eat it myself. So everybody has different taste. Some people can have. I like chocolates. Like, people like it. Vanilla, people like it. But you can't tell that everybody just likes only vanilla. No. Everybody has a different taste. It all comes from our own samskara and subhava, which sort of coming through our nature.
Legacy, right?
Yes.
2-3 points here is, okay, you have different Atmas, right? One is from materialistic side, we have our body. Spiritual side, or the true sense, or the true you is the Atma,
Yes.
right? So who created Atma? Where did it come from?
Yeah. That question has the origin that everything has a beginning point and end point. Yeah.
In one of the theories.
Which is the modern science way of looking at things, that there is a starting point and an end point.
And we have
It's a
another
linear way of looking at things. Vedic life is circular. Yeah. So when you
There
say
is no end point,
eternal,
there is no
there is
start
no
point.
beginning, there is no end. Yeah. The question of when, you are defying the circular identity then. Right? The very thing that I ask when is because I think everything has to have a beginning. But why? Right? It's a theory.
One of the other theory was also cause and effect.
Yeah.
Like if you can keep starting
Yeah.
from material to inert, so everything has every cause,
Yes.
every effect has a cause, and then keep going till you have.
Well, that is fine. Cause and effect is the theory of karma. That's fine.
Mm.
But it's also not linear cause and
It
effect.
is not. It
Yeah,
ultimately
so-
reaches to the truth.
Yes. So everything is circular. You
I was going through
look
a
at
few other things.
look at nature. Day, night is circular. Season circular.
Mm.
Right. So in nature, everything is circular. Nothing is linear. That chalo, next 100 years would be summer. From there, we don't know. It's going to be winter forever. No, it's not like that. Right? And the whole creation in modern life, modern science also accepts that things have been happening, right? Refurbishing, coming again. So things are circular. Nothing is linear.
That is Prakriti.
Yes.
You can say
And we
chaos,
are
but
we're
it's
part
a
of it.
controlled chaos, and we are part of it.
Yes.
You said that God, Krishna is there, we are individual, and then, but
Krishna is not telling that he is God yet. Yeah. He's just established that I am individual. There is no mention here that I am God. The first place when Krishna tells that is in 4th chapter. Until then, Krishna is not just telling ever that I am God or I am something special. Because until you understand yourself, your karma, these two things, it's different for you to then you just need to believe them. if you understand yourself and karma, like what you are doing, then it's easy to understand, oh, how Krishna functions is different from you. Krishna's karma is different from you. And Krishna is not bound. But that comes only in the 4th chapter. It's a very thematic presentation. It's really logical. He could have told, I'm God, I'm different, but he doesn't do that. He just, for now, he's establishing, I'm different, you are different, everybody is an individual. Okay?
But
Good.
don't we at some point come become one with the
No. It's opposite of this shloka. Will never become one. You will remain as who you are. Okay.
I have a question. You said every individual is unique, so every Atma is the same but also a bit different. But the essence of the Atma is to seek eternal bliss and knowledge
Yes.
and all of this. So, is it that the Atma's purpose is different, so therefore there is the difference? And
The purpose will come in
But
karma,
okay.
right? That's where you act.
Mm.
And so purpose you can sort of loosely translate as dharma, right? So that comes later. First you need to understand who you are, and then how you act is built on top of your identity. And that's how we can actually eventually become very peaceful with what we do and very happy with what we do when you identify yourself. And so, for example, if someone understands that this is my nature, inherently I have this quality, inherently I have these skills, abilities, right? And let's say they find something to do in their lives in which that's their livelihood. They become happy automatically. You don't need to seek for weekends. You need to seek for vacation. Why do we look for weekend? Because we are frustrated with our daily lives. Only few of us in the world get to do what we really want to do. Krishna somehow found out. Not everybody gets an opportunity like this. You were in IT before, right? Sort of. Somehow he found that no, this is. So he's happy, this is his occupation, but still he's happy, doing it on the weekend. We would not be happy, like, you go to office and do something in, weekend, right? So not many of us really get to do what we really want to do. We are living a life which is really imbalanced. So we don't really never take time to really figure out who am I, what is real purpose, what is the inner motivation, where is it coming from, and align that with my livelihood. That's the whole purpose of Gita. You live a life which is balanced, it's aligned with your core principles of life, core existential seekings of life. Yes.
Can I compare it?
You mentioned that buddhi is different from mind,
Yes.
but what is buddhi then? Is it like consciousness or
No,
what?
buddhi is the intellect which drives your intelligence. Yeah. And it's a step higher than intelligence, which can process your own actions. The moment you trigger that kind of ability, that's where you understand buddhi is functioning now. Okay? Buddhi can enable you to ask questions which are beyond ahara, nidra, bhaya, maithuna. There are, 7.5 billion population on the earth. Let's say half of it are really struggling with existential needs. But still, you have then 3.75 billion people. They are not really asking these questions. Even the ones who are comfortable in life. Right? Only very few ask the questions, and they are nara. Everybody else is pashu.
But Atma is also there in Pashu
Yes.
and everything.
Yeah.
Excuse me. So you said only few people ask these questions. So what is that which drives them?
Buddhi.
For example, I'm thinking about this group. There are so many people in Denmark.
Yeah.
But why only few people make that effort to seek?
Whoever is having buddhi triggered, they seek. And they are called as nara. There is no speciesism here. We are not distinguishing based on body. We are not telling that animals cannot think. That's not what we are telling. What we are telling is if someone is asking these higher dimensional questions, they're called as Nara. And Nara is not a human. Human is how modern anatomy distinguishes as a life form. That's not what Nara is. Nara is someone who is having an advanced consciousness.
But that's my question.
Yeah. What is which is triggering?
differentiates? I'm
Yeah.
just taking this
So that's that buddhi.
this
how,
cohort.
how buddhi is functioning in everyone is how they are actually perceiving the world then. Right? Now you may ask, what is that which is triggering buddhi then? Then it comes to the question that yes, everybody has acted, and the more and more they have been conditioned with their own karmic baggage,
So it's a baggage.
which sometimes doesn't allow them, but this is not enforced on them. This is their own choice, and that's where we come to karma, and we will discuss at length then. So these concepts are interdependent. They are not just also treated individually. So once we are discussing about karma, we can come back to this topic then. Yeah, how your one action is sort of defines your future multiple actions, but then you are the source of it. And that's also established very clearly by Krishna that he has nothing to do with it. And there is no force here that Krishna is choosing some people. No, that also people think
So
sometimes.
universe just gives, and it is
The
up
universe
to us.
has a fair advantage for everybody. It's up to us to grab or not. Yeah. Nobody is being chosen. These are the selected people. No. It's up to us.
Yeah, I mean,
Okay.
I'll stop there. That's where who chooses it. What
You-
makes them different?
you-
Maybe you said it's baggage.
Yeah.
Maybe
So
we
eventually,
discussed it.
when we discuss about karma, we'll go deeper in there because ultimately your action has consequences, and consequence is not just for this life or today. It's eternal also then, and also cyclical consequences.
Thank you.
Good. Shall we call it a day?
I think she
Is
had-
it-
she
Yeah,
had
I
a
had a
question.
question. I was thinking about, if you have time, like we all are Atmas. We all are Atmas. Also, flower has an Atma. Suppose if a flower, so I was thinking a field of flower, and a flower is asking, "Who am I? Who am I?" So I can think about that. I can also think like a flower. Who am I? Okay, maybe I'm green. I'm white. What are the characteristics of the Atma? So, but the Atma knows that he's or she is the Atma. Atma is not he or she, but Atma knows that I'm Atma.
Yeah, the question
So we
whether
with our
other species
small-
are asking this or
Yeah.
not is you can deduct this by just being vigilant that how many cats are sitting for meditation, what exactly a cat is doing in its life, what is a dog doing in its life, what is a horse doing in its life.
I was thinking, we also human with our small intellect. We cannot go above that. So the Atma knows how that he's Atma.
Yeah,
or she's
Atma, no, right now it
Yeah.
doesn't. Right now it's conditioned, that's the meaning of conditioning.
Mhm.
None of us are thinking that we are Atma because if we would think, we would not be functioning the way we would. Atma has a few characteristics which we'll discuss in the next shlokas.
Mhm.
It never has the feeling of duality.
Mhm.
Duality means heat, cold, right? Happiness, distress.
Mhm.
This is called as duality. So the very next shloka, 213, we just did 212 today.
Mhm.
213, Krishna tells, Matra sparshastu kaunteya shita ushna sukha dukkadaha
Mhm.
agama payino nityaha tam titikshasva bharata. As Atma, you never get yourself to the duality of the world. You'll always stay a level above. Yeah, that's the characteristic of who truly behave as Atma. Which is a long way ahead for us. It's also a good shot to stop. It's next week. Okay? Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I hope it was useful. The document perhaps will give you a bit of context on, at least come prepared next time. And only question from my side is that next week I'm in Brussels, next Saturday.